Hello, this is Gary from Factory 2. I'd like to welcome you to Youth Maker Market. If you've made it this far, you should already be aware of the Factory 2 pitch. If you give us some of your time and participate in our weekly programs, we'll give you free classes on how to make things, free access to our facilities, and a mentor from our staff to guide you along. We will help you develop a business plan, design and build your own products, and provide the opportunity for you to sell to the public. And remember, you'll get $100 for startup materials and you'll keep the profits. Today's installment, we're going to be talking about the traits and habits of successful entrepreneurs. So, what does it mean to be an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur has the drive and the tenacity to pave their own way. They decide that working for themselves is much more appealing than working for someone else. They know deep down that they have something to share and can't hold it back. What do you want to put out there? Is it your story, invention, product, service, or design? If you're watching this now, it means you're in the mindset to start your journey as an entrepreneur. Let's talk about what it really means to be an entrepreneur and what it takes to reach success. Here are 7 traits you'll find in many successful entrepreneurs. Number 1, failure is celebrated. Feedback is really what an entrepreneur means if they ever say failure. Success is a creative process that is built from taking feedback and listening and learning to grow. Think of a mistake as a learning experience. Even if we are constantly finding new mistakes to make, we can get closer to our goals. Edison allegedly stated, "I have not failed 1,000 times. I have successfully discovered 1,000 ways not to make the light bulb." The only way you won't find success is by quitting before you get there. Number 2, avoid sunken cost thinking. There's a psychological principle that shows that the more money, time, and energy that you invest into something, the more you feel you can't walk away. Think of this example. You spent $50 on a non-refundable concert ticket later this year. 2 weeks before the event, you find out that you have a very important exam the morning after the event. You realize that you'll need that time to rest up and study. Your ticket is non-refundable, so you have a decision to make. You can either decide to still attend the event to get your money's worth, which is the sunken cost fallacy, or you can eat your loss and choose the more responsible option, which is to miss the event, study, and rest out. When you can successfully avoid this sunken cost method of thinking, you're now approaching what is known as zero-based thinking. This is a new way of approaching information. If you can imagine yourself in a situation before the decisions were made, you'll have the added benefit of hindsight and knowing where the situation will lead. You can then objectively decide that since the money is gone either way, and it would be most useful to study, that this is the direction you should choose. This method of approaching decisions will keep you aligned with your goals. Number 3, goals. There are many approaches to setting your goals, but the most important aspect is having a clear direction. Several approaches are numerical, system-based, and progress-based. They're all helpful, but each has their own place. Let's say you want to get your social media following to 100,000 subscribers. That's a numerical goal. A systems-based goal is helpful when you don't have a particular number you're trying to reach, or a specific end game. They are best for when you want to build up some good habits or make some positive changes. For example, choosing to eat fast food only once a week, or creating a tutorial video once a week for your channel. A progress goal is great to help boost morale. It's less about specific numbers or process that you're following, and more about celebrating your forward movement. For example, keeping track of your revenue and seeing that you've grown from $100 per month to $500 a month in sales. Goals can be tricky. It can be difficult to know if you've chosen the right goal for you. A good way to know is to answer these questions for yourself. Is the goal clear? Can I see myself at the finish line? Is it challenging and rewarding? Can I reasonably accomplish it? Is it something I can do on my own? Will I need assistance or guidance? Where can I get help if I need it? Is it something that excites me? Is it my passion? Is it something I truly want to accomplish? Asking yourself these basic questions can go a long way in preparing your game plan. Number 4, learning gives you power. Today, learning is easier than ever with library access, internet, and audio options that let you pursue information at an accelerated rate. Gary Vaynerchuk, a highly successful businessman and social media influencer, has gone on record stating the audio world is big and is going to be the most influential technology of the age. For example, with an audiobook, you can listen to a book about creating a web page for your business while doing the dishes, while driving to work, or while taking a shower. This allows you to passively learn something while still going about your everyday life. This is absolutely revolutionary compared to our current ways of learning. Multitasking definitely takes some practice, but even if you only remember a portion of what you heard, you are already more knowledgeable than when you started. So I highly recommend starting up this positive habit if you can. Many audiobooks are relatively inexpensive or free. You can also listen to informational podcasts or even YouTube videos. Just keep learning. Find what interests you, find what can help you grow in your business, and you will see some positive changes. Number 5, you are your greatest asset. You are your brand. If you take the time to develop your personal brand alongside, or even before your product, you'll be able to connect better with your audience. This gives you the edge. What makes you, you is what helps your brand. Take a look at many of the highest tier Instagram influencers. They build their personal brand and following, and that invested audience then supported the creator through their business endeavor. When someone is personally invested in you, they're more likely to support your business. People are genuinely supportive of the things they love. Your audience will value you if you bring value to your audience. While Youth Maker Market will concentrate on building physical products, branding is still an important consideration. Number 6, sell time whenever you can. How did Uber get to be so big? It wasn't the fact they offer lower rates than the average taxi. It's not that they provide a luxury experience like a limo. So, what is it? The secret? Time. By using Uber, you have access to a personal driver. You can now use your travel time to get more work done. For example, a small business owner can call an Uber instead of driving their own vehicle and losing out on the transit time to an appointment. They can get work done in the background. They could listen to an audiobook and answer some emails, make some edits on the web page, or set up promos on their social media. This now saved 2 layers of what would be otherwise lost time. If you can successfully tie this into your business, you will succeed. You can always make more money, but the only commodity that you can't make more of, time. So, if you can find a way to add value to your customer's experience by saving them time, you will win. Number 7, networking, relationships, and being hungry for success. The best way to get your name out and find support for your endeavors is to connect yourself with as wide a network as possible. Surround yourself with people you admire and people you can learn from. Do what you can to provide value to them, and they will be able to provide value back to you. A great speaker named Les Brown says,
"You've got to be hungry!"
He famously told a story about working to become a DJ for the local radio station. He approached the head of the station, named Mr. Butterball, and started his interview, answering that he had no experience in broadcasting, journalism, or radio. He asked for a job. He was told no, they didn't have any jobs for him. So he went back again the next day and said, "How are you doing, Mr. Butterball? I'd like to ask you if you have any jobs available." To which Mr. Butterball responded, "Didn't I just tell you yesterday that we don't have any jobs?" And Les responded, "Well, yes, sir, but I wasn't sure if anyone had been fired since yesterday." He left empty-handed again. Then he came back the next day. "How are you doing, Mr. Butterball? I'd like to ask if you have any jobs available." To which Mr. Butterball said, "Didn't I tell you yesterday we don't have any jobs for you?" And Les responded, "Well, Yes, sir, but I wasn't sure if anyone had died since yesterday. This went on for a long time. Finally, upon entering and greeting Mr. Butterball with a smile and his classic question, Mr. Butterball yelled angrily, "Go get me some coffee." That's how his climb to becoming a DJ began. His story has many lessons. His ambition got him started, and his persistence helped him move forward. Once he finally made his way in, he provided some measurable value. Yes, it was a small step, doing coffee run, but if you can find your own way to provide value, you will see returns if you stay hungry. So, there you have it. These are some of the skills and traits of an entrepreneur. Some of these will come naturally to you. Some of them will require plenty of work to put into action. If you take these to heart and build them into your mindset, you will have a great start to your dream. In the next video, we will go over some of the pros and cons of being an entrepreneur. See you soon.